Hi, Chris again. We are now in the module that is going to focus on graphemes. So I'm hoping by the end of this module that you will really come to understand what do I mean by grapheme, what is a grapheme. Hopefully in the last module you learned some about it, but I hope to focus on some points in this module and make sure that you understand kind of the complexity of the grapheme. Now, the very first thing I want to make sure is very clear is that a grapheme is a symbol that represents a sound or multiple sounds. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you a quick Chinese lesson. Now, I need to apologize. My Chinese handwriting is very poor, but I'm going to try to use it to kind of symbolize what we mean here. Because when you think, if you're an English speaker, specifically if you're a native English speaker, but also if you've learned English, you learn A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? So we learn all these letters separately. But when we're thinking about graphemes, we don't want to think about it that way. When we think about the word grapheme, we want to think about a symbol that represents a sound, okay? In Chinese, that's obviously much easier. So here in Putonghua, we have this is 女, and this is a symbol. Now, obviously in English, we have these letters, so we don't think about it quite the same way, but this is a symbol that represents a sound, 女. Okay, and so here this symbol represents that. Now if you look over here, you will see the same symbol as a part of one symbol. Okay, so this is one symbol here, but part of it is this same character. Now, 女 means woman. That's what it means. Here we have ma, which is this word for mama, mom, right? So if you have ma, you'll notice that in ma, in the word ma, you have this character that represents a mother. Okay, so you have this character here, and sometimes the character is within a bigger picture, and sometimes it is by itself, like that. Okay, in a similar way, we can have a letter. So here's the letter T. This letter is T, and the grapheme is T, T, right? But we can find that grapheme within a bigger context, okay? So over here, I'm going to demonstrate that with this. And it's easy, again, for native English speakers, or just if you've been learning the English language, to think of this as TH. But we don't want to think about it that way. See, this is one symbol. And the symbol represents the sounds z. And so rather than thinking about it as individual parts, we have to start thinking about a grapheme as one symbol here that represents a sound or multiple sounds. So this symbol just happens to fit here. This symbol looks like this symbol. But remember, this is the whole picture here. This is the whole picture. Now, sometimes graphemes can be hard to tell whether they should be put together or not put together, and that has to do with syllabication, and we'll be able to talk about that in a later module. But in this module, I mostly wanted to focus on the symbols. So here we have t, t, and here we have z. And just because this letter and this letter are the same does not mean that the grapheme should be thought of in any way the same thing. This is one grapheme, one symbol, even though it's two letters put together. And this is one grapheme, one symbol. Okay? So when we think of the graphemes, we want to think of the symbols, and that's why we don't teach this is TH. We teach this is like that, okay? Because this is a symbol that represents sounds. Number two, I wanted to focus on the difference between single letter, because even though we want to think of them as this one symbol, we still have to have a name to refer to them. So we refer to this kind of a grapheme as a single letter grapheme. And those are graphemes 1 through 26, with one exception, and that is QU. And that's because Q always needs a U. U is not a vowel here. That's one of our rules. So Q will always have a U, but other than that, the first 26 letters are the letters of the alphabet. The first 26 graphemes represent the letters of the alphabet. Not all of them only have one sound, T does. But there is a difference between those single letter graphemes in whether or not it is a vowel or a consonant. And we talked about this also very briefly. So I'm giving the introduction now, and later in the module we'll go into more detail. But remember, please, that a consonant is a sound that is held back. It's restricted in some way, whereas a vowel sound is an open sound. It is a sound that can be sung or a sound that could be yelled. And so here we have this ah O, U, and that is a vowel. All three of those are vowel sounds for this grapheme that is a vowel, okay? And then we have T. As a final question, do you remember what it is that is also both a consonant and a vowel? Do you remember which grapheme that is? I hope that you can, and I welcome you to our module that's going to focus on graphemes. I hope that you'll do a great job. Please let me know if you have any questions.